Hey, this is Shantae with Brown Sugar Talks on Thinking Thursdays. And so today I want to talk about love. I got a card that reminded me of like one of my favorite people in the world. And this is why. Okay, so love is patient, meaning that sometimes like in your anger or your frustration or whatever, it's like we always rushing people and rushing things. I notice like when I get up in the morning, I'm rushing my kid like, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. The rushing, because I feel like we got to make it on time or he has to make it on time. I start to be like, you got to go. You have to go. It doesn't feel right because you like pressuring something that's not even supposed to be pressure or should be pressure. It should just be a situation where it kind of just flows. And so I believe that we have built this place where we don't have, where it's almost like we can't have patience. Like we can't take our time with stuff. Like we stop. Like even me, I used to like do slow eating or whatever. And now it's like sometimes like I'll just rush to the meal and my son is like, you done? It's like, yeah, because I didn't even taste the food. And so it's almost like that's something else, like just slow chewing and different things like that. Like everything we continue to take for granted. Even yesterday, like we did something, like we went outside. It was almost like I'm thinking, well, we got to go to the next place. Like we have to be there. And my son is like, no, we are going to relax. Like it's just time for that. So that's the thing. Love is patient. And when you are at ease about stuff, you handle things differently because your body is able to process the movement. And so we talk about meditation and different things like that. And it's like the meditation is something that actually starts to slow your brain down. It's even though your body could be moving fast, it just starts to slow your thought process down. So therefore you're able to enjoy that moment in life. And that's all it is. And I feel like if you haven't got to the point where it's like it's hard for you, because when I first started meditating, I was like, I'm talking about 50 miles. It was just like a lot of stuff on my mind. So much so I would just keep a notebook next to me and just like write down the stuff I would think about. Then it got to the point where I was just like drifting off. Like I was just like just go into like just staring at trees and looking at earth and stuff, just thinking I want to be out of here. Then sometimes it just like, again, my mind would just like go blank. But it did that a lot. Like a lot of times, sometimes it did. But it would just go blank. So it's just like, okay. But then when I got to the point where when I meditate, I think of nothing. That's where it's like, okay. And I mean, I could be in the middle of anything, like just in the middle of a 50-mile-per-hour movement in my head, and it stops. So just looking at love as a patient thing, this is why. Because my favorite, okay, he would be like, it's like when he came to our house, he relaxed. And that was the best thing. Like, it was just like he would just completely relax. No surprises. I used to study him. Like, I would just be like, oh my God, look at him. Look at him. Like, he just like, and he would just like want me to play in his hair and massage his shoulders and, beat his feet or whatever. He was just so silly. And he would just like try to teach me little stuff that he knew. It wasn't a whole lot of stuff. He was funny, smart, and that's it. So anyway, it's just like, that's something I learned from him. It's like what he used to beat me up like with my other cousins, like beat me up, thump me till my skin came, like it was just like he was horrible. But then as he got older, he stopped doing all this crazy stuff, and he would just be like a cool dude. Like he was just awesome. And I just noticed that he would just relax. He would just sit in the chair all day. We had chicken pox together. So he would sit in the chair just like all day and do nothing. And it was just like nice to just be able to, it was like the first cousin that I could really relate to. Like he was just like the one, he was like actually the only one I could just be like, okay, we can have a conversation. He made me laugh. He was just something else. And so that's the whole thing. It's just like, I just really like that. And I think that was like the first time I felt like, okay, not that he, like, I feel like he loved me, but I was like, that's the first time I felt like, man, he was like a cool dude. Like he was just a cool dude. So that's the whole thing. Love is kind. Love is kind because, love is kind because if you felt any other way, you won't get anything done. Like, we get mad. Like, it's like, it's so much so that you have to get pissed off. But in your anger, sometimes you're not thinking. Sometimes some people say the wrong thing. Sometimes you angry because you're tired. Like, it's like so many different ways to be angry. But to be kind through your anger or your pain, that's a whole different situation, because you have to realize that your anger is just it's a small thing compared to what's really going on. And so, it's almost like, because sometimes it'll be more moralistically, we'll be thinking that this is not right because it was taught to us, and not that this is not right because it's human, right? So it's human to go through the process of asking questions and being curious and all these different things. And so sometimes we get to the point where if people ask questions and it's like it's messing with our thought process or making us think or making us feel, then we feel like, well, that's not, but that's just human. It's just human. Yesterday I saw some guy, he was curious about what was going on. First off, I liked that his eye, like he had on these glasses, But he was curious about people taking pictures. And I was like, well, what is it? What was it? And he said it was the dogs. So you see how we both came up with two different things? I was thinking that he was worried about the people, but he was more worried about the animals. And so it was like, okay, that's like something nice, And I just felt like, okay, that was really good. Like, I stopped to talk to him, and if you looked at him, he just looked like a regular American dude, but he was actually like from another country. And I was like, that's a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful situation, because he is not, it was just like we were both able to be kind to each other. Kindness it's just something where we have to, like, I don't know, you have to be conscious of what you're doing and how you're treating people and stuff. It does not envy. I have been jealous. Like, I have actually wanted attention, with my sisters, got attention and I didn't get attention. Never from anybody else, because it was almost like, I never felt that with other people, but I have felt it in my life. So, but jealousy and envy, I looked them both up, and it was like jealousy is something different than envy. Jealousy is like when you, want I don't know. Okay, anyway, y'all look it up, because I can't even go back and be like, because I got one page up, I'm not going to go do it again. But anyway, it's like jealousy and envy, they two different things. So to be envious, I guess you see somebody and you like, okay, I envy what they have. But then jealousy, I think you just want to take their place or whatever, something like that. So anyway, and I got that from the song, Smile in Your Face all the time, they want to take your place, the backstabbers. Okay, so yeah, it does not envy. So envy, you don't look at another person and covet what they want, what they have. And I know people be preaching about this, but envy, for real, that's what I've been trying to tell people. Like, it's almost like when people envious of other people's lives, it's like, or how they look or what they do or whatever, you just like, no, you cannot do that, because God has a different path for you. But the good thing is that if you are envious, you then therefore know that that's who you are. Like, you looking at this person and it's like you want what they have, or you want that job, or you want this. Well, you want it because you can do it. But the thing is, you don't need to knock Betty down to get there. You don't got to push anybody to get there. All you got to do is find your way of how you going to get there. Because one day that's going to be your position. Because that's what you want. It's just what you work for. It took me 4 years to become a teacher in Texas. In that process, what did I do? I took jobs. I did substitute teaching. I tried to learn who was in the whatever, who was making the money. I didn't have insurance. It was just a lot. But what happens is, it's like, in the process of trying to get to that position that you want, you start to learn different things. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like in those different realms of life, you cannot once you envy, it's like, now get over your feelings, because that's not love. You know what I'm saying? Love, because that's going to be part of self-love for yourself, because you could be so envious of a person that you would want what they have. That's something that I learned in college too, when one girl told me, well, this is where you find your husband at, and she was trying to find him any kind of way, by any means necessary. She was going to get the man that she wanted, and he had to be light-skinned and tall, so she wanted to be friends with me, because one of my friends was dating a light-skinned guy. She want to be friends with me so she can get the information about the man, so then she can therefore take, you see what I'm saying, take the man. And you just like, whoa, like that's some deep shit. You know, when somebody put up a plan to take your ass down or get information from you so they can take the person, then that's the whole thing. It does not boast. Like, meaning, like, you don't, like, stand there and be like, okay, well, I'm the shit. You know, I got this, you know, that's something one of the rappers talked about. He was talking about how when people when people make it, they will come back and be like, man, look at you. They be shitting on people. Like, you ain't shit. You ain't this. You ain't that. Da, 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 da. And he said that's the part where people end up just being pissed off, you know. Because now you got two people, right? You trying to rile up one person because you know, because at some point they didn't treat you right? So now you the top dog. You gonna come back, you know, you just all up in you boastful, right? But then they gonna look at you and be envious. You see what I'm saying? So it's two evils fighting each other. It's two things that can't work together fighting each other. When it has to have a positive and a negative to work. Just like a battery. For that shit to work, you have to have positive and negative. So it's like you got so what he was saying was, he's like, then people be shitting on each other or whatever. So then when you come back, it's like we can't do nothing. You know, like they hurt, you hurt. You know what I'm saying? And it's like y'all done got to a point now where y'all don't need to be hurt no more. Ain't nobody hurting. Ain't nobody hurting. Ain't nobody. That's how I gotta get to. It's like, man, I can come back and be like, man, you know what? This happened, but guess what? I got this. I'm putting this on. This a beat. Here go a concert. Oh my God. When I tell you how much I love this dude, Timberland and freaking Missy Elliott. I'm in Chicago. Timberland just gonna do a pop-up concert in his neighborhood. Out of nowhere? For free? Just at the school? We just gotta meet you up there? Are you kidding me? I didn't even know they did that kind of stuff in Chicago. That was just like, what the hell? What kind of place is this? It just make you love it even more, like how they just, oh my God. And then you got Chance the Rapper who come from there. Even though I'm from Illinois, I'm from a different part of Illinois. But it's just like, man, to represent love like that, like that's love. Like it's like, you know that's something that came from his heart. And Chance the Rapper, that's something that came from their heart. Like they didn't come back to be like, I'm gonna punch you in your face with this music. I'm gonna do this. No, they made the money and put it right back where they got it from. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's like, that's the whole thing, because that's their home, that's their city, that's the place they love. That's their love. But if you come back and you ain't shit, you know, it's just like, man, okay. All right. Love is not proud. It is not. Especially if you have kids. If you ever been in love, you know love is not proud. You would just, it don't even matter. I don't even know what vulgarity is no more. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what it could be. If you love somebody, you don't care. And I think I felt that first with I have my sisters in it, but then it's like my son. It's like, you get past everything. You don't care. All the shit you've been taught, you don't have time to give not two fucks about them, because you gotta build this person from scratch. Like, it's like I'm making a whole new cake. And so you just have to know that in order to do that, you got to push past everything and just love. I'm talking about all of it, the muck, the grime, everything. So you know that you can't have pride, because if you have pride, you don't really love that person. You can't love them. You can't, because you're going to have to be totally the fuck down. Like, you cannot. If your daughter, when men tell me their daughter got them wrapped around their finger, I'm like, he love her. He loved her. If a woman tell me, yeah, he is my friend, she love him. You have to let your guard down, because just because they know, I be like, oh my God, this boy that said no, I gotta beat the hell out of him. And I don't have to beat him. I just have to tell him, I'm gonna beat you. I'm either gonna beat you or I'm gonna mistreat you. So you're gonna have to get yourself together, because you don't even want it to get to that point, because that's the whole thing. Your pride. That's what's getting you in. You like, kids shouldn't be talking, because most people, your kids can't talk to you like that. But they will, and they need to, because what if it's better to be talked to, for them to go through that with you, than to go out in the world and give the wrong person the respect that they need. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes, and that's where